Khalil and Mr. Haggerty and the Backyard Treasures. Khalil's new house had an up and a down. Upstairs lived his family, which was big and busy and noisy. Downstairs lived Mr. Haggerty, who was quiet. Khalil loved the backyard, and so did Mr. Haggerty. While Mr. Haggerty worked in his garden, Khalil hunted for bugs and interesting rocks. He lay in the grass and read his library books. Sometimes when he couldn't figure out a word, he'd ask Mr. Haggerty for help. Mr. Haggerty would squint through his glasses. "Tarantula," Mr. Haggerty would say quietly, or "volcano," or doubloons. Sometimes Mr. Haggerty needed help with his words, too. "Where did I put my digging thing, my hole maker, my shovel? Look at this big, not beaver, not beastie, beetle?" That summer, the house was hot. Upstairs and downstairs, it was much too hot. Even in the backyard, the sun burned and the air sizzled. One morning when Khalil went out, everything was droopy, even Mr. Haggerty. Khalil decided this would be a good day to find buried treasure. I'm Tricia Springstubb, and this is my book, Khalil and Mr. Haggerty and the Backyard Treasures, illustrated by Elaha Tahirian and published by Candlewick Press. The Khalil in my story was inspired by a real boy. He's the oldest child in a family of Iraqi refugees who my family helped settle here in Cleveland. We've gotten to know them well. They've taught us so much, and we've become fast friends. The book is dedicated to that Khalil and to his 3 younger siblings. Mr. Haggerty is inspired by my own Irish-American grandfather, who was a gruff, laconic man who I never got to know very well. Unlike Khalil in my book, who reaches out to this Mr. Haggerty and gets to know him very well. The book is illustrated by Elaha Tahirian, who grew up in Iran, and her love for her culture and for her family shines out on every luminous page. Khalil means friend, and this book is about how you're never too old or too young or too different to make or to be a friend. It's also about language. It's about how words can connect us and bring us together, and it's about the power in every child's voice. It's also, of course, about treasure, the treasures we find in our own backyards, and the treasures that we can't touch or hold or feel, but that nevertheless are in our hearts. And I can't leave out a very important theme of the book, which is chocolate cake. So if you go to my website, triciaspringstubb.com, you'll find lots of suggestions for discussion questions, writing prompts, and fun activities to do after sharing the book. And Elaha and I really hope that you will enjoy it, reading it, as much as we did making it. Thank you.